No.
I saw the Simpsons episode they were in.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, me too. Right, I'm going to now come back from the west.
Have you never seen it, Matt? Because I've genuinely never seen it.
No, I've never seen it. Apart from the Simpsons episode.
Both of you are schmucks. I'm going to come back east and hand over to myself to do the reviews. Hold on.
What the hell's going on? Matt, you do the review.
Yeah,
okay, I've got to pop off in 4.5 minutes to put some veg on, but I can do 4.5 minutes.
Hang on, so you're having crab tarts and veg?
Yes.
Will they go together?
Yes.
Are you on your own tonight?
Well, I'm cooking for myself, yes.
Why is that?
Because Mum's on a detox, so I'm cooking.
What, in rehab?
No, she's in. Oh, it doesn't matter. Call the midwife.
Call the midwife. Yes, I'm still watching it. It's very, very good. It's still quite dark. The only thing I was slightly disappointed by was that the whole love triangle thing only really ran one episode.
Yeah, but I liked how they did that with the Trixie and how... Because I think in other shows they'd have them getting back together, I think, and the way they did it realised, oh no, we're better off apart, and the vicar went off.
I didn't mind that they... I just wish they'd got it over for another episode. I wish there'd been a bit of tension. Russell.
No, but I think it was good containing it to that episode and playing it off against the boy who wanted to go to university, and
yeah,
that was a good storyline, I thought. And then he ended up getting the girl pregnant, and it was sort of all again about the sort of pressures of the time, isn't it? And
I mean, you had another, well, this wasn't an abortion, was it? This was a, what do you call it, a miscarriage. So they're really not afraid to really, go for the very emotional storylines, which I don't think other shows of this nature would. And I like the idea that you've now got this whole mystery illness of the baby.
Well, it's not a mystery, is it? It's a mystery to them, I suppose.
Yeah, well, in the sense that it's not common,
the deformities again.
Yeah, the deformities. So yeah, I'm still watching it and I'm still liking it. Well,
interestingly though, although it's doing massively in the ratings, it's not doing as well as Countryfile. I just don't understand
review
that.
Luke. I thought you were going to...
No, I thought you were going to launch into, No. I don't understand. Maybe people just have it on in the background while they're eating, and that's why it gets...
Well, they get the weather for the week.
Well, that's right.
Okay, that'll be why.
One of the old women who came... Well, that's what one of the old women who come into the post office said to me. Like, she doesn't like Saturday night TV, but she likes watching it on Sunday for Call the Midwife and Countryfile because she gets the weather for the week on Countryfile. So there you go.
She could take over from Mrs. McNamara when she moves away. That post.
Oh, any news on that, by the way?
Sorry? No.
She's
She's not. She's coming back. I think the week after next or something, and then she's going to start preparing to move.
Yeah, but I hope she has the guts to tell you to her face she's going, because you were heartbroken.
Well, me too. I mean, when I see her, I'm going to give her a piece of my mind.
You're going to have a leaving party.
I don't know. She might have. I don't know.
Yeah, you'll be going because they might have cake or little sausages on sticks.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully she'll have those little sticks with cheese and pineapple on them. I like them.
No, I've told you the sticks are going to have sausages on them.
Oh, okay, but not.
They might do the whole sort of hedgehog.
Yeah, that's what I hope.
That's highbrow. That is.
And maybe a nice fondant fancy.
Oh yes, yes. Because is it still 1989 where you live?
I believe so. Yeah.
Gary was excited about the X-Files. Matt and I were excited about some proper telly. Happy Valley was on Tuesday at 9.
Gary, you didn't even attempt to deal with...
No, I despite your YouTube blushing about it, I did not.
But I have to say, I mean, what we did...
Could I have done so, having not watched Series 1?
I think so, because my parents and I loved the first series, but the iPlayer had a 5-minute catch-up thing on it, which we all watched beforehand.
Oh, okay. Because you said, didn't you, that you'd have to explain it to your parents?
Well, no, I think I'd have to go. Yeah, I think I'd have to remind her that the girl who was kidnapped is now a policewoman with her, and all.
Well, she's not a policewoman, is she? She's a community support
plastic policewoman. Yeah. But that really helped. But I think you could have watched it without.
Yeah.
But don't worry, I didn't, so it's a moot point.
But I think we need to talk quickly about issues with sound.
Yeah, well, obviously I didn't see this, but I obviously saw your...
Did a lot of people have the issue? Because, I mean, I didn't watch it on the telly. I obviously watched it on the previews. And
a lot of people had the issue with the... And I watched it on the previews and on the telly, and a lot of people had issue with it on the TV. I thought on the previews it wasn't the final edit and they were doing... But it was the same.
Okay.
Reminiscent of the issues that they had with... what was that programme? Was it something...
Jamaica Inn.
Jamaica Inn.
I never saw that, so I don't know if it was as bad, but there was a lot of fast speech and a lot of mumbling, which a lot of people said they had the subtitles on. Well, I thought this was absolutely superb.
Yeah, I agree. Should we do a bit of context?
Yeah, perhaps do some context, yeah.
Right, so this is set, 6 months after?
18 months.
18 months after the original. So about the same time as it's been away sort of thing, and Catherine Kaywood, Sarah Lancashire's character, starts the series by finding a dead body. It later find out that it's the body of Tommy Lee Royce's mother, Lynn Dewhurst, and Catherine had been sending her threatening messages. But then it builds up to it being part of a larger investigation into a serial killer. Is that right?
Yes. But Catherine still has to provide
evidence,
alibi time for herself.
Catherine
and then
Kelly.
You've got sort of a line of duty aspect to it, where she is being almost investigated by the line of duty folks, really, in the form of Catherine Kelly, who I've never liked.
No, I know. Do you like her in this? Because I was thinking Luke never likes Catherine Kelly.
I don't know. She
wasn't as Catherine Kelly in this as she normally is, if that makes sense.
She's got 5 more episodes to turn into herself.
Yeah.
But I've never liked her. I don't know what it is.
And then, sort of running concurrently to that, you've got several other storylines. They've brought in almost like a love interest for Claire, Siobhan Finneran's character, Catherine's sister, in the form of Colin O'Neill.
Who we believe, in this family dynamic, has some criminal background, which is why he was a little bit nervous.
There is. I have seen the second episode. I don't want to give anything away, but there might be a link to another storyline. They make an insinuation that... And then there's some stuff with Matthew Lewis in there, who's one of the drivers for Nev, and we don't know quite what he's doing there.
No.
And then there's the storyline where Kevin Doyle plays another police officer who's having an affair with Amelia Bullmore. And then throughout he says, I want to cool it off, I want to stop the affair. And then she basically blackmails him by drugging him and... dressing him up in women's underwear. Is that a fair?
Take it. We've all done
pictures
it.
And then threatening to send all these messages to his colleagues and his family and stuff.
Yeah.
And,
unless he gives her £1,000 a month.
Yeah, which is nothing, you know.
I mean, no, not on
that's
not
the
on a
one
postal
for me
salary.
that didn't feel as...
Well, you left out one of the...
Okay.
Well, you left out... There's 2 more storylines going on that you...
Tommy Lee Royce and Shirley Henderson.
We got Shirley Henderson playing this sort of creepy prison visitor who really has the thing for Tommy Lee Royce.
Where did we get to? What was the last bit with Shirley Henderson? Because again, I don't want to
just her outside the front door.
Oh, okay. So they haven't found out what her job is yet.
No.
Okay. Well,
and the second story, which you avoided, was there are some sheep and dogs being killed on a farm.
Yes.
One of the things I would say about it, there's a lot going
on, but you never feel like you're lost. For me, you never feel.
No.
And there are characters that are in the background, like as I said, like the Matthew Lewis driver, and it's getting. It's like these people all. It's almost like an American show. You've got these characters. They're not big for now, but they could be used later. It's like, for example, Julie Hesman as Kevin Doyle's wife is hardly in the first episode at all, but you've got the impression that because she's being played by quite a sort of known actress that at some point, Steve Pemberton's wife in the first series, she started as just the wife, and then she was almost the one egging him on when they were doing the blackmailing in the first series. But brilliant, just generally.
It's just a masterclass, and I do feel sorry for people who haven't seen the first series and
Gary.
anyone who said they didn't get the first. I mean, it's just I do feel sorry for you because
I was in there almost straight away. You know, like just
that opening scene was just. I was like, yeah, Happy Valley's back.
Surprised how sort of compelled I was just straight away. You've got me, and I'm back in the area.
But I think it made me realise the difference between this and the show that it will ultimately be compared to, Broadchurch, is the characters in this are just so well drawn. Just listening to Sarah Lancashire talking in that first scene and regaling her story about the sheep, I just thought it's because these characters are so well done in the first place that you actually care about what's happening.
I think the comparison between the two is that Broadchurch, the characters worked for that story in the first series, but outside of that story, he struggled to know what to do with them. Whereas
because they weren't that well developed, were they?
Sally Wainwright knows what to do with all of her characters.
But
maybe that should be our catchphrase.
7 million viewers as well in overnight figures, so it's going to rise substantially once word of mouth gets out.
I suppose we should at this point mention that we are the podcast of the week.
Podcast of the week.
On the UK podcasting site. So,
damn, I was going to pay someone to do that, but you've just saved me 30 quid.
Matt's like the cheap alternative to like real voiceover artists.
Yeah, or real people.
Or real people. So yes, thank you very much for the UK podcasting site for doing that. And if you want to learn more about them, then look it up.
Listen to us, and
we'll tell you
of the week.
all about it. Now on to pick of the week, unless anybody else has got another show they want to talk about.
Pick of the week.
Okay, Matt, why don't you go first with your pick of the week?
That's me.
It is.
I'm going to go...
Actually, I like a man who knows who he is.
I'm going to go for an American show, actually. Sky Atlantic, 9 p.m. on Monday. Vinyl, which is showing on HBO. Actually, they are showing it sort of at the same time, I believe, on Sky Atlantic, 2 a.m. on Sunday.
Yes.
What do they call that?
Simulcasting. And then 9 p.m. on Monday for those of you who've got jobs. This is basically
He's such a snob.
It's set in the record industry. Stars Bobby Cannavale, who we all love as a record label boss, and it's directed by Martin Scorsese. Mick Jagger's also, I think he's got something. He's executive producing on it. We saw a trailer of this at Edinburgh, and we both thought this is something we want to watch. And I think Luke's mainly in for it for Ray Romano swearing.
Well, no, they're doing cocaine on a plane. He's going to be in such trouble when Deborah finds out.
I know. What about his mum? Crikey, she's going to kill him. It's a 2-hour premiere, so make sure you block out 2 hours of your life for that one.
I don't have 2 hours in my life.
I'm going to go next, and I'm going to go for another show that's on a Monday at 9 o'clock. I'm going for the UK premiere of the American crime story, The People vs. O.J. Simpson. If you want to learn more about
that last week, didn't we?
Well, I was going to say, if you want to learn more about that show, then either listen last week via the website, or listen next week when I'll tell you what I think of it.
So ignore this week completely.
Ignore this week. If you're here for American Crime Story, move on.
Ignore this week.
This is a moot point.
And Luke?
I'll go for one that I don't think many people will be aware of. It's Alan Partridge's Mid-Morning Matters.
Oh, yeah.
It's on Tuesday. It's the return of the radio studio-based comedy starring Steve Coogan, and it's on Tuesday at 10 o'clock, and I'm looking forward to it. And on Monday is the final on-air day for BBC Three.
Yeah.
Well.
Wow. End of an era.
Bob Dylan weren't wrong.
What was it originally? BBC something else? Choice and...
Yeah. As Bob Dylan said, the times they are a-changing.
Oh, I thought you were going to do Mr. Tambourine Man.
No, I was going to say the tarts they are a-burning.
The tarts they are a-burning. Right, well, I'll very quickly wrap up the show so that Matt can go and eat. So you can follow us on Twitter. You can follow Matt at MattTVBites. You can follow Luke at LukeCustardTV. And you can follow me at The Gary Show. You can visit us on Facebook, search Custard TV, and give us a like and leave us some nice comments. Why not go to iTunes?
Likes up again.
Let's go those likes up. Why not go to iTunes and leave us a nice 5-star review? Nothing below 4 stars.
Just 5-star reviews.
Yeah, anything below 4, we don't want to know about it. And basically, just send us some love. It's Valentine's this weekend, men. Send us some love, or women.
Men. What the hell's going on there?
Right, okay. Apologies for the lack of the quiz. It's been a strange week.